You. Okay. So welcome, everybody. This is a webinar, a Zoominar, and also one of the sessions for Reed University if you are enrolled. And so Maya and Galit are going to explain to us about using Partani lessons as efficiently and as wonderfully as possible. And then at the end, if you are in Reed University, we'll be giving out the exit ticket. All of the PowerPoints and everything will be going up on Read All You Need on Zoominars, as well as on the Reed University site that is in the description of the WhatsApp group. So you'll be getting everything. And so I want to just welcome you all again and not take up any time and move the wand over to Maya and Galit. And if there are any questions, let them sort of speak and they'll stop and say, are there any questions? All questions should be written in the chat. And when they decide that they want to stop and take questions, then we'll answer all of them. All right. So use the chat to write your questions.
I'll remind you on the technical side that if you're taking this course, the Reed University course, you must fill out the exit ticket at the end of the session. If you do not come to me and say, why did I not get attendance credit for the session? Okay, you must fill out the exit ticket to get attendance credit for the session. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's this is our cue, isn't it?
Yalla.
Galit. Okay, so I'm Galit and this is Maya, and thank you for joining us this evening. We've gathered here today to basically share and care what we do at our school. We have a wonderful system regarding tutoring, and we'd like to share fantastic ideas with you. Also listen to what you have to say. Yeah, anything?
Yeah, well, I'm also very excited to be here together with you, and thank you so much for staying this evening with us. We really do hope that you will be able to get some new ideas here and not just listening to us, but also to your colleagues to get some new thoughts about how you can maximize these sessions that we all do. And we want to transform our challenges in this area into opportunities. So that's the plan for tonight. And I would like to go over quickly the agenda for tonight. I'll share my screen now. Here it is. Now I think we are, except that we lost our people. Just 1 second here. I'm going to make you bigger for a second. And here. So there's the introduction. We want to talk a little bit about the obstacles and the challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis. We want to talk about some effective tutoring strategies, and we also will have some time to work in small groups where you will share with each other what you want to do and what you do in your schools, so you can all steal from each other and learn from each other and basically get inspired. There will be some time to think about your tutoring plan, how you can improve, what you can plan, what kind of students you want to engage, and so on. We will share ideas and policies. And finally, there will be some reflection in an exit card and some steps for future action. Am I moving slides? Yeah. Okay, so.
So the purpose of the lecture is to understand how to maximize tutoring hours, the Partani sessions, for meaningful outcomes. We will also discuss what those meaningful outcomes can be. We will share practical strategies and how to overcome different challenges that we face on a daily basis at school, and how the tutoring lessons are there to benefit both the pupils and the teachers.
So before we go ahead and start going into the depths of it, we would like to know, and if you could please write in the chat, what is the primary purpose of tutoring hours in your school? There are many, many different ways of using the tutoring hours, not all of them for English, but now more specifically in your school. What's going on? Do you do English only? Is it divided into something else? Who decides on the hours? What is the purpose and the main purpose in your school? Let's have a look and see what you're doing. Let's have a look.
Maybe.
Here.
Oh,
Found it.
oh, make it
We made it too big.
Okay, too big.
So,
Oh, wait, okay. Scroll
Okay,
down.
I'm
Nice
scrolling.
to help.
to bolster weak students. Let me just
Just
make it big. Hold on. I'm struggling here. Technical
There we go.
tools.
Mhm.
Weak students, assist students who need extra help. Support weak students, close the
Wow.
gaps. Give personalized assistance to weaker learners.
Weaker
Weaker
learners.
learners seems to be
The motto here.
the motto here. To make progress.
Again, to support.
Very strong students and enrichment. Opportunity to connect, closing gaps. Strengthen students who are struggling. Basic reading skills.
This one here, I can't teach the student.
So you're taking for Partani. Okay, good one. Trying to help students reach 5-point classes. Wow, these are all amazing. Amazing ideas.
I like that, breaking through the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and motivate students as well.
Weak students, sometimes strong ones, definitely. Specific obstacles and deficiencies. Investing in strong students, like that word.
To help special ed students who are stronger in English and have difficulty studying in large classes. Okay.
Okay. Wow, so many. Do we have anything that we haven't related to?
No, 3D
Upcoming
messages at the bottom.
event. Breaking through walls. Wow, very cool. Thank you so much for sharing. It really is something that we do in most schools, it seems. And we hope that by the end of the evening, we will have even more tools to deal with this and more. Is there anyone who wants to share like a success story, something specifically that goes on in their school that they think we all could benefit from hearing about? Do you see anyone raising their hands? Should have told somebody ahead of time that this was the question, so they could have been
Ask it
prepared.
again.
I will ask again if there is anyone who has like a particular story or something that's very useful that he does in his school that he would like to share.
I think maybe once you get going and you give them some ideas, then they'll want to come back and they'll
Okay.
want to share more ideas.
Wonderful. Let's Emily, you want to say something? Share.
Yeah, well, we started the Read Restart program and it's amazing. The kids love it. They love it.
And you're using the tutoring hours to cater for those particular pupils. Wonderful. Okay, cool. So let's just sum up. I think we heard a lot about what we do to help our students. I think maybe some of the obstacles that we encounter is also something that we need to address for just a minute. So I want to go here. I know that we're all doing wonderful work with our kids, but I also know from schools around that sometimes schools just randomly place teachers together with students because they are both available at the same time. That's an issue. Sometimes we have the counselors from a school assigning the kids without discussing it with the English teachers, and then it can happen that it's not as useful as it could have been. A big struggle in many schools are the issues of when are we going to help these kids? During which hours? Are we allowed to take them out of math to help them with English? Do we have to make them stay at the end of the day? How do we actually deal with these time slot issues, basically? And I want to mention one more thing. There might be some coordinators around here. Tutoring hours in our school is more or less treated as frontal hours. We expect our teachers to be available and help out, and help out not just the teachers, but the students in all kinds of settings. I don't know if that's going on in every school. I think there's some resistance sometimes. Teachers want to use that time to mark papers and deal with other issues that they have, and we have plenty. And finally, when I speak with teachers, I sometimes see that there's no clear planning about when to teach these kids, who to teach, why am I choosing these specific students. And these are things that we can address and discuss in more depth to see that how we can overcome our specific situation in our specific school, and maybe also request some changes. The hours from the English teacher should be used mainly to help English students get better in English. So I'm going to move to the next. I want to show you something that a couple of my students wrote when I asked them about tutoring hours. I'm sorry, I'm going to read the Hebrew.
Would you like me to try?
You want to try?
I can
Go
try.
ahead. Yes.
Excuse my Hebrew, but so one of our 5-point pupils, he was actually in 4 points in grade 10, and he asked to move up a level. And he's not a very strong 5-point student, but he gets extra help from our tutoring hours, and he says, החוויה שלי בשיעורים פרטניים היא שאני מרגיש יותר יחס כי המורה נותן לי את מלוא תשומת הלב שלו, ושהוא יעזור לי בכל דבר לעומת שיעורים רגילים, שהמורה צריך ללמד כיתה שלמה, ואז פחות לתת תשומת לב לתלמיד אחד, וזה עזר לי בגלל שהייתי יכול לשאול את כל מה שעולה לי לראש, ואז לקבל מענה מהמורה. So sometimes they're too embarrassed to actually ask in class, and so the tutoring hours gives them the platform to ask whatever they want, not to feel like they're under anyone's watch. Another pupil said, תורם ועוזר יותר, שזה 1 על 1, ו6 עזרה והסברים. I mean, we know that our classes are very big. Some are as big as 37 pupils, and we cannot possibly get to answer everyone's questions. We just don't have the time. And so we use our tutoring hours to give them exactly what they need.
Cool. So, so we do have all these meaningful tutoring sessions, especially with our weaker learners. And now we want to see how we can actually benefit from all kinds of interventions, I'd call it, not just for the weaker students. And we made a list, so you don't have to work too hard. Let's see. So these are the things that are going on in our school.
Okay. So number 1, again, testing support, whether it's invigilating or being available in an eye test room with accommodations. We can't just put any teacher in there because they wouldn't know what to do. So that's assistance during tests. And how often do we actually have pupils who break an arm or something, and then they're just stuck. They can't take a test. They can't sit and write anything. And so we use our teachers for those physical limitations to help out so that the pupil isn't left behind. And we do it more often than you actually think. We use our hours for makeup work, whether it's assignments and quizzes, dictations, post readings for the logs, a pupil who missed a lesson or a pupil who needs extra time and extra help. Group work to enhance skills such as reading and speaking. We use them for catch-up lessons for those who were absent, whether it's one day or long-term, someone who was away for a week or even longer for whatever reason. So also to try to help pupils who move from one class, to another, when they move between levels, we help them with that transition. We support them. We also use group work to enhance skills. We said already, provide, and that's another one that came up in the chat, to provide extra challenges for our advanced pupils. I assume that we all have stronger pupils in our classes, and instead of them getting bored, we provide them with extra material, and so we challenge them. We also mentioned in the chat, if you noticed, the either disruptive or unmotivated pupils. So we also take them out to give them meaningful learning, one-on-one or a group of 5, to give them the tools and to show them that they can actually do something and they can succeed in the subject. And then that way they don't get left behind.
I want to say on that note that it's very important for us at Megiddo that we don't send people out for tutoring as a punishment.
Yeah.
Okay, if we do send a disruptive kid, it's not because he was being naughty. It's because we think he needs something special, something extra, something different that will help him to integrate better in the future in our lessons. And it's very important for us that the students actually realize that the tutoring hours is gold. We really, really want to give everyone the opportunity for that special attention. And if you get them, it's because you are deserving of it, that you need it and you will benefit from it and you take advantage of it. I'm sure some of you do most of these things, and maybe many of you have new ideas now. Give yourself a score. Let's see in the chat, how many of these are you actually using?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so score yourself out of 8.
Let's see. 6, cool. Wow, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
6, 5. Okay, so I think what we see here, 7. Wow, amazing.
I'm a bit
5.
of a competitive person. Is anyone going to get 8 out of 8?
We'll see. Well, first of all, we can see that many teachers are using many, many different ways to teach their kids. 7, another 7. Cool.
I actually want to know.
-7? What was that? No,
No.
probably not a minus. It was
No,
just
not
a
a minus
7.
7. Now, I'd actually like to ask the 7, which one of the points did you not include in your score? If anyone would like to share with us, I'd be interested to know which one you didn't actually give yourself a point for.
Is anyone willing to open their mic and tell us?
Okay, hi. I am not opening the camera. I'm sorry. I don't look well. So you see, frankly, we use all 8 points, but it depends on what we need actually. So, for example, the most popular are disruptive, unmotivated pupils and support transitions. So logs, usually most of us deal with it in class, okay, makeup work also is less popular. So that's why I wrote 7, because I was speaking mostly about what I personally do.
I understand.
Maya, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does anybody give pre-work? In other words, take a weak student and show them the text before class and give him the vocabulary before class? Does anybody do that? Good. I think that today, that's also a really good one to add to this amazing list, is giving them what they call in Hebrew Tom Hachana. In other words, pre-preparation for the lesson, so that the student feels success in the lesson. Instead of feeling despair in the lesson and then getting help, he actually is prepared before the lesson, and then he feels that success because he knows all the answers in the lesson. And so that's something to think about. It doesn't work for all students. Some students need to hear it in class and then want help. In other words, it's a very individual differential thing, but it's another one to rattle around in your head. And also, I wrote in the chat about gifted students. A lot of you in junior high have 1 or 2 gifted students in each Kitat M or in each Akabatsa Aleph or whatever you have. And having one teacher take them all and doing like a really fun project with them or something is also a really good use of Partani time. All right, so if I were to add another 2 to this amazing list, those would probably be the 2 that I would add. And if there's anything else that anyone else wants to add it in the chat, and then we'll make a really nice list for everybody.
Cool. Excellent points. Did anyone
Um,
else think of something else that they're doing that should be on the list?
You have a question in the chat, which is, I think, an important enough question that I'm willing to interrupt you.
Go
Don't you all teach English at the same time? Like, how do you have free time to help English students? Are you dealing with that later on?
Of
Yeah.
course, it's in our plan for this evening,
Fine,
and
okay, so then don't answer it now.
it's
And
one of
then
our
Efrat
magic.
and Wendy will just know that it will be addressed later on.
Wait and see. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful. Well, it's clear that lots of teachers are
Wow, that's a nice one. Efrat, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. Efrat, when you say prepare an activity for the class, do you mean that the student prepares an activity for the class to do?
Yes, that's what I mean. That you sit with them. It can be struggling students as well, but you sit with them and you prepare something to show, or an activity to plan, or to be the ones that are leading the activity.
Love that.
that's a great idea as well.
Noted.
Thank you.
Lovely.
We're writing it down. Cool. So clearly lots of things are going on in the schools, and now you will have the opportunity to be more specific and learn from your colleagues. And we are going to break you up in breakout rooms. Let's have a look at the plan just a minute here. You'll have about 20 minutes. And we'd like you to discuss the following. Who benefits most from tutoring? Okay, weaker learners clearly came up, but maybe you can even make it with the buzzword lately has been grouping, right? It's something that's come up a lot lately. How do we map our kids and how do we group them in all kinds of different groups? Weak, strong, maybe struggling readers. There are all kinds of ways that you can group kids and see how they can benefit in different ways from the tutoring. Small groups, groups of 2, groups of 3, or pair work. Maybe not one-on-one. There are all kinds of ways that you can plan ahead, and so lots and lots of different kids can benefit from the tutoring, not necessarily and only the weak ones. If you send out a group of 5 kids in the middle, you might have more time to spend with the weaker kids if you're doing it the tutoring at the same hour. And I want you to share with each other what's going on in your school, and how you're doing it, and what the challenges are, and how you manage to overcome the challenges that you face in your specific schools. So I want you to compare a little and share, and hopefully inspire other people to see what's going on and maybe steal some ideas.
Are you sending the link here?
Yeah.
And so I recommend also just take a picture of the screen with your phone.
No, you've got.
We have it, it's in the presentation, so you'll have it the minute you have
Yeah,
the
but
link.
they need it in their breakout room.
Yes, they
Send
have-
the link to the shared document. Put the link in the chat so that before we break them out, everyone can open it on their computer.
Mhm.
And
Stick
I
that in
will
the
make
chat.
sure that everybody can share their screen, yes?
Yeah, I let them. I did that.
Right,
Know what? Okay. I think it's if I unshare,
yeah, unshare your screen, copy
unsharing,
that link.
and then
And then everyone can open it, and then Melissa will open the rooms, and you guys get teleported. So be ready. It's a
Oh yeah,
new
they don't have
function
to
in
click
Zoom.
anything?
If you haven't seen it, Melissa opens up the rooms and you just swoosh out.
That's not, they don't have to click on anything to go to their room?
I don't think so. Or if they do, it comes up on the screen. They don't have to scroll down. It's really kind of cool. They all sort of disappear. Maya, do you want me to, you need help?
No, I thought to go, hold on. I'm sharing it now
Okay.
in the chat. There's the
Cool.
link.
No. You don't want to share that number.
I don't. It's
Ah,
this
here it
one?
is.
No,
No.
something's wrong here. Hold on. Something's not working for me here. Let me make this. I'm afraid that this is the wrong one.
So
You
thank
share. And I'm going to the slideshow and let's go to, is there anyone in room 1 who would like to share what they did?
Maybe one thing from each room. Right? You want everyone to share
Yeah.
everything?
I don't think we have time to all 16 rooms.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Maybe just like one thing.
Yeah. One thing from each room. Let's start at the top. Room number 1. What is it that you found the most interesting or inspiring?
I think I can say that I don't remember who Anna said, I think, that they had a student who came in 7th grade and didn't even know how to write his name. And then by the end of the Dept, he finished a 5-pointer.
That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm quickly going to go on to room number 2. And room number 3, please be ready. Who wants to say something from room number 2?
What can I say? We have created a very stringent schedule. We know which teachers are available at which hours. In where I work, in any event, our students learn till 8 in the evening.
Wow.
And there are no free periods. So Partani means they have to be taken out of other subjects, which means I have to have a schedule of all the teachers' free hours, a list of all the students who need or require Partani, and I then converse with homeroom teachers and the students to find out what subjects they're strongest at, which subjects they're less affected by being removed from those lessons. And then I see which teacher is available at that time. I make the connection and I create a schedule of Partani in that way. It's hours of work. But once that schedule is created, it runs without a hitch. It's brilliant. That's something that we do.
Amazing, wonderful. That's a great idea. I'm hoping that somebody will steal that idea. Thank you. Moving on to room number 3.
Does that include, wait a minute, does that include the differential students as well?
Everybody. I'll
I
tell
see.
you even what I do. 1 second, in the higher grades where perhaps we don't have as many differential students, I use my mapping.
Yeah.
And I sit with every single student during a Partani lesson. I see what that student needs. I set up lessons with 2 or 3 students who need the same things. And during those Partani lessons, that's what they get, what they need. Every kid gets what he needs from the Partani. It's
You're
amazing. And students who start not knowing how to write their names, but students who start the year with a 60, finish with a 95.
Kol hakavod.
Nina, I'm going to ask the question of the other people. I'm amazed as always. I'm going to ask the question that I'm sure a lot of people are scared to ask. When do you find the time to do this, to sit with all of those students?
During Partani hours. I say, I have a Partani hour at this time. On this day, I will be sitting for 10 minutes with this student, the next 10 minutes with this student, the next 10 minutes with this student. I make a schedule. I meet all my students during Partani hours. I see what they need, and then I set up lessons with students to give them what they need.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's go to room number 4. What do you want to share? You had a lot to say.
So nobody else is talking, so I'll talk.
Thank you.
We had a hard time understanding what in the field was, but I think we dealt with that. There are definite differences in school, in every school. We work closer to how Mina described. We've gotten rid of the middle person over the last 2 years. It now directly goes to a teacher who says, yes, I have Partani hours available still, and the kid, and between the two of them, they find an hour that is compatible to the two of them. If they can't, then it goes back to the Akaz, who says, no, this doesn't work, and they'll find somebody else as another potential teacher. But aside from that, physical space was a big issue in our group of where to sit and where to do the Partani. But otherwise it was pretty much the same kind of stuff.
Wonderful. It's definitely a huge benefit for those kids who get the hour for sure. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, cool. Next room, room number 5, Tom, Abigail, and Ryan.
Well, it looks like I'm nominated via silence to be the spokesperson, so I'll speak. What works? Well, Abigail was sharing with us about her school, and it's very similar to what we do in ours at Hakfar HaYarok. The coordinator organizes a list of people using Google Sheets, and people put down their Partani hours and their availabilities or their designated Partani hours, and they create lists of students who need Partani and match them up and organize them that way. In our school, we use diagnostic tests in the middle school, particularly in Kita Zain or grade 7, and we map out various weaknesses and filter out students who need Partani that way. We didn't have a lot of time, so a lot of things we could have said of what works we discussed in the field, because how does this translate into practice? Well, you have the pulling out, pulling students out of the class. So you have some teachers who don't teach the same classes in the same hours. So you can have them take students out of your class who need additional assistance and work with them in small groups or in special cases one-on-one. I mentioned my class as an example of that. And benefits, I mean, a lot of people covered these already, but I'll repeat them. Students who demonstrate willingness to invest should get priority. Okay, that's not really a benefit, but that's a note that Tom had mentioned in his school, that they place emphasis on the fact that, Partani is not just a free private lesson. You have to show that you're willing to work and that you have some level of investment in wanting to improve. But I added as a benefit that when properly matched, Partani can nurture student motivation. So if you have a student who's already a bit motivated, right, and they're struggling, and you give them more precise assistance, you're actually encouraging their motivation, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know from my own experience in school, if I didn't get the proper assistance that I needed, my motivation starts to wane over time in a certain subject. I think that's a definite benefit. In addition to the obvious benefits of, closing gaps, mitigating deficiencies, etc.
Cool. That was very, very comprehensive. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
I think people have great.
Maybe something to think about, Maya, also is what happens when kids don't come.
Yeah.
And also another thing that I wanted,
Like, Brian was just saying, it was really true, the when motivation wanes. And then sometimes it's really hard. Partani is hard. You're like really making their neurons work because it's one-on-one, so they can't hide. And so sometimes they choose not to always be present. At something we need to take into account their emotional, the emotional component here of having extra lessons in something and what the toll is emotionally that it takes on them. I'm not saying let them out of it, but I'm saying take it into account. you know, get chocolate from the school secretary. I don't know, like figure out, you know, what's gonna help motivate them to like sit for another 40 minutes and be with you. And also 40 minutes is long without a break.
So two things
figure out
about,
how to-
first of all, someone in one of the groups said bring cookies. So
Oh,
kids,
for sure, food will
excellent
always help.
point. And two, also considering maybe working in smaller groups and not just one-on-one. It's something that is possible. We have a couple of minutes left. If anyone's dying to share something, this is the time. If not, we will just go to a random.
Just raise your hand and you'll pop to the top of the screen and you'll be able to share. No? Okay.
Okay, let's go to room 13 then.
Everybody will receive the slideshow and they'll be able to read through it.
Yeah, we already shared it and you wrote it, and it's also in the exit card if you want to keep it for later. So let's go to room number 13. Moshe and Lindsay and Yaniv and Achinom, who wants to share something that they discovered? And this is going to be the last group, unless somebody wants to add something.
One thing that I thought was really interesting, we kind of discussed a lot of the same stuff that was already said, but something that I thought was really inspiring was Achinom was talking about a student who was, her mother passed away and she was going through a really difficult time, but she came for Partani. She didn't come to anything else, but she came to Partani, that through that relationship, she came and she passed the Bagrut just through that. And just how inspiring it can be when you create that relationship with students and you have that more personal touch. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a
definitely
perfect
inspired.
final point to
Amazing.
make before we go back into the main room again, saying
Maya,
that.
can I just add one thing?
Sure.
Hi, I'm thinking always about the student. It's pretty obvious the benefits that students have, but for me personally, I feel that after I give an effective Partani and I get to know the kid, that I benefit much more sometimes because I did something effective here and I perhaps won this kid over who doesn't really have any motivation and he doesn't have or she doesn't have any self-confidence, and after 40 minutes of walking around the school with him or just sitting with him somewhere not in a classroom environment, I get a lot from it, sometimes even more than the student. So it's like two ways, kind of.
Totally.
Can I, Sarah, you just motivated me to say something that sometimes I use that Partani time to experiment on my own. Like I've been teaching for a lot of years and we kind of get stuck in one way, but sometimes we can look at students and we say, oh, maybe they'll understand if we do it a different way. And I can kind of play with new ideas of how to present and how to teach and how to reach out to students. And it's a great opportunity for me too.
Yes, definitely. Not to mention walk and talk. Sometimes you can take a kid and you can walk around the school while teaching. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for sharing, and you can read what people wrote in the documents later. Let's go back to this one, and I would like to talk about what's going on at our school. Galit and I have been working together for many years with the coordinators in Megiddo. And we would like now to share what we do in our school, and maybe it's a bit different from what you've heard so far, and maybe this will give you some new ideas as well.
Do you want me to share this screen?
I am sharing.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So first of all, our policy for tutoring hours. So yes, we prioritize weaker learners for personalized support. For the more advanced pupils who need enrichment, we have a group of volunteers from our community, retired teachers who look to come and be with us, with the teachers and with the pupils. So we make use of their time. And they really enjoy it and look forward to coming to us. A very important point is we try our best not to. We avoid taking students out of other subjects unnecessarily. We always most of the time, we take pupils out of our English classes for English Partaniot. Now, in the event that we do take pupils out, We make sure that we get permission from the subject teacher and the homeroom teacher to get their approval. Otherwise, pupils jump at the opportunity of getting extra lessons, but then it would be, it's at the expense of another. We look at tutoring lessons as a reward, as Maya said earlier, not as a punishment. We help each other out. It's a team effort to help the pupils. We have a big team, 12 English teachers plus 2 special ed teachers. And then we have 3 teachers within our team who teach both in special ed and in our regular classes. So we look at it as a team effort. We really treat tutoring hours with the same importance as regular lessons. We avoid using the time, as Maya said earlier, for grading or to do admin work. We initiate help. We have a positive attitude towards it. We're flexible and available. We step into classrooms if necessary. And another point somebody mentioned earlier about pupils not pitching up for lessons, we actually follow up if a pupil doesn't come to our tutoring lessons. So let's say one day in a lesson, Maya would say, I'm sending you these 4 pupils and only 1 or 2 show up. So I follow up on the others and I go to Maya and I say, what happened to the other 2? Send me someone else as well. So we think quick, we follow up, and don't say, oh, wonderful, only 1 person came, I've got some free time. Well, we don't do that. Then the teacher can definitely send somebody else. And when possible, if possible, we plan ahead. At least a day earlier, who needs our help, who needs whatever for that particular lesson. And then the teachers know what's coming up, whether they need to prepare anything themselves at home, or let's say go over a short story before we give them a tutoring lesson about the particular topic or a piece. So we do plan ahead.
Can I mention one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
I think one of the things that we've discovered now that we've been working for a while with a very structured system for these hours is that the teachers who initially felt it was strange to send their own students to another teacher for help, they wanted, like, if I teach this kid and he's struggling, I want to sit with him. That was the initial feelings in the teacher's room when we said that we want to use this system. And now it's a switch. It's saying, fantastic, I have somebody to help me with this specific child now. It's very easy for a teacher to help. I just tell them what they do and they work with the child. Also, when we know we have somebody available to help us, all those incidents where somebody needs to make up a test or do a dictation, or they need to finish an assignment that the others did in another day, instead of having to do everything at the same time, teaching and structuring and helping and following up and all these things, I send a few of them to someone else to sort it out. And I have less to deal with in the lesson, which means that I'm freed up to deal with all the other things that's going on in the classroom. So the benefits for the teachers are very clear in the way we work.
Yeah.
So let's just have a look at the structure so people understand exactly what we're talking about.
Okay, so the way we work is the teachers who don't teach in that grade do the tutoring hours during that hour to help the teachers in the classroom. We have a schedule that we refer to. We have it up on our boards and teachers have it in our WhatsApp group, and they refer to that when they need help. They know who to turn to. And so that's planning ahead. So Maya and I do all the work, and it's one thing to say, or 2 things we wanted to say that we're very proud of. Number 1 is our tutoring schedule is pretty much done and ready before the 1st of September. I mean, we are ready to go. Yeah, we let our teachers breathe. You know, they take a week, 2 weeks to get to learn their to get to know their pupils and handle things themselves. But our tutoring hours, our roster is already available before the 1st of September. We're also proud to say that many of our pupils get help on a weekly basis. Teachers can always count on getting help in lessons, especially in our very big classes. As I said earlier, some of our classes have 37 and even 40 pupils. And teachers are relieved knowing that they get support whenever they need it, especially the new teachers who need help. we go to them, either we help them in the classroom or they send pupils out, and it gives them time to breathe.
So I think maybe one of the big differences between the system that we have and what we've heard from many other teachers tonight is that we connect between the teachers. Like it's a teacher between teacher. Like if I don't teach grade 7, I'm available to help Galit because she teaches grade 7. And then she has the opportunity to send different kids every time. It doesn't have to be the same kid. It can be a small group. It can be a specific child who just broke his arm and we have a test coming up and he needs desperate help in something that wasn't planned. Or we can plan ahead and have a focus group, a certain type of kids within their class, and they work with it. That solves the issue of kids who get tired or don't show up for that day. And also it creates for a dynamic situation where we can think on the spot and make changes.
Yeah. Now, we do not want you guys to get excited. Our school day does end at 4. We just didn't have space on the screen to show you our entire schedule. But this is the way we work. So Maya is Maya, and she's very organized. But I did this actually, didn't I?
You did this.
I did this, yeah, but she's the organized one. And so this is our roster. We color code our lessons. We teach grade 7s all at the same time. We don't have miflasim. Our school, we have about almost 1,400 pupils in our school. All our teachers teach both middle school and high school. We make sure that they have Ofik and Oz and stuff like that. So we organized. And as you can see, the teachers' names. So if I take as an example, which one did we want to use? Say on a Monday, lesson number 2, we have grade 8. We teach grade 8 tomorrow morning at 9:25. And we know that Sivan, Diane, and Maya are available to help us with our tutoring hours. And then we also slot into our schedule teachers who teach either other lessons because they teach more than one subject, or they teach Mekademet, or if they have Salishi. So here's an example in grade 8 tomorrow morning. I know that Ilan is unavailable because he teaches history at that hour, or he's got a history tutoring lesson during that hour. And this is the way we work. And then at the bottom of the screen, we have a note to say who's not teaching that specific grade. I mean, as an example, in grade 7, Maya needs help in her Mikud Lamida class, and 2 other teachers also need help. So she knows I don't teach grade 7, so I can then always move myself from one tutoring lesson because Maya needs me on a Sunday lesson to one specific week. So I'm flexible. Now, most teachers have between 4 and 6 hours of tutoring lessons a week. And this is exactly how we do it. It's how we plot in our tutoring hours. We do it. We give it to our teachers to look over. And then they come back to us with feedback and they say, well, actually, I prefer coming in 1 hour late on a Sunday. So please rather slot me in on a Thursday, lesson 8 to help out. And so we just shift. We do try our best to have at least one teacher on our schedule per lesson. Again, for all the reasons we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Anything more?
So I want to say, for example, when I plan my week, I don't just plan what I will do in the lesson. I also plan what Anat will do when she's helping me in grade 7. And I can tell her sometimes even a week in advance that I'll need you lesson 7 next week because I have a station rotation going on, and you are going to do one of the stations sitting outside the classroom. And we like this system.
Yeah, it works for us. We like doing it. The teachers have something to refer to. They know where they're supposed to be and when. Our teachers also, I mean, we don't place teachers in Milui Makom unless they have a free lesson.
We are not allowing our school to take our teachers away from their tutoring hours to do Milui Makom. We fought for that and we got approval, and now they don't touch our Partani lessons. We say those belong to our kids, and we plan and we use them.
Yeah. Now again, if any...
Somebody asked the question, how many teachers do you have per grade?
So we have in grade 7, We have 6 classes plus 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 5 teachers not teaching. So we've got six classes in grade 7, and then sometimes 4 to 5 teachers available to tutor.
It's a lot.
But again, I mean, as you can see on the schedule in grade 7 specifically, it's like I have chinuch on a Sunday, lesson 1, so I'm unavailable. Lesson 2, I've got yeshivat kitot mabar, so I'm unavailable. So then we've got 3 teachers in lesson 1 available, and then 2 teachers available in second lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, for example, the 3-point teachers usually have 1 hour where they don't teach their class and everyone else is still teaching that grade, which means that they are available for that hour to help out in one of the other classes.
Yeah. So again, flexibility is key here. Our teachers know that they need to be available, and if anything comes up, they just talk to us and they tell us that they're unavailable, and then they shift elsewhere where needed. And we also though have to say that if we don't need anyone, we don't use them. It's not specifically Dafka Maya's written down, so I'm going to make Maya do something. If we don't need help, we don't use help, and then the teachers, yes, they are available to help out. But it's not like we take advantage of it in a negative way. Just positivity all around us. We're positive people. Now, again, if any of the coordinators around in the Ishtalmut would like more information on how we specifically sit and organize it, feel free to chat us at the end of the session. Yeah, that's it.
Well, this is more or less what we do in our school as well, but I have another question. As long as I have Partani, and maybe Judy, this is for you, but how is this, is it possible to cancel? Can a rakaz, can a mena'el chativa or something like that cancel my Partani? If I have a set Partani and he needs a sub, is it legal in the Chuzah Mankal for him to take my Partani away?
Definitely not my
Area
answer.
she's not there.
Oh, Judy's left.
No, so she's here. She's just doing a few different things.
Okay.
I think that it's a conversation you should have with your school. Partani is not meant to be. Partani is not substitution hours. It's 2 separate things.
I think there's a law here.
Right. Exactly.
It's not about me talking to my school. I mean, I need to be clear because this happens again and again, and this is tachlis.
Who is it who's speaking right now? Sarah Bernstein?
Sarah?
Sarah. Sarah, I'll look into it. Like, I don't like quoting laws without double checking because things do change over time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We will answer, Timna, I think, asked whether we give Partani only during English lessons, and our answer is yes. We only take out of English for English. We don't take out of other subjects unless it's like an emergency of some sort and the homeroom teacher agrees or the subject teacher agrees. We don't ever take pupils out of other lessons for English. It's only English for English.
Yes, we are lucky to have many teachers available, of course. Now, I think regardless of the situation in your school, if somebody else has decided for you when and what and with whom, planning ahead what you will do and how you will use your tutoring hours, either for helping other teachers or for helping yourself, it needs to be part of your planning. So now I'm going to give you, well, maybe 5 minutes just to think about next week, because we really do hope that the end result of this 1 hour and a half conversation discussions that we've been having, that you will now add something on, take on something new, change something, think of something that you want to try out that you didn't do up to now, and this will create some kind of a change. So I'm giving you 5 minutes. I think that's enough. 5 minutes, last 5 minutes, to think for yourselves or in small groups, whatever you want. Plan next week. See how else you can do things, how you can do things with a new flair.
Yeah, we should maybe just
No, we're just leaving it.
Please remember you're waiting for the exit ticket before you leave. So don't cut out too quickly. We will post the exit ticket in a few minutes.
What are we doing now? I mean, are we just thinking now? No. We're thinking.
Yes, we're actually giving you a minute to think and see how we can plan for next week. Using some of the new ideas that you just thought of and developed this evening.
The whole plan is based on the fact that you have so many teachers available at the same time. We don't even have one teacher. We're missing teachers.
So at the moment,
We
I'm
have
not asking you
13
to change
classes on each level.
I'm not asking you to change like the way your
Yeah, so
school.
how can I, you know?
But you have tutoring hours that you either give?
Yeah, I take, I decide who I take for my classes and on
Okay,
different
so-
hours during other lessons.
Okay,
And
so
that's
now
it.
I'm just giving you a couple of minutes to plan ahead and see if there's some other types of tutoring incidents, events that you can add on to your roster of ideas.
Even if it's simply, I'll just speak out right now and I'll say that I think that the idea of using, I heard from somebody tonight that they use the Google Sheets to line up teachers or to make a chart like this. I think it's a wonderful idea that everybody can consult and see who's available at a different time. I love that idea and I think that that's something that I'm going to try to do. So think of one thing that you learned tonight that you can add into, or maybe it inspired another idea that you can bring into your schools next week. Bring up at your staff meeting, suggest to your Rakazat.
Maya, can you share your schedule? A template of your schedule?
The template?
Yeah,
It's
do you
not
have
really
it?
a template.
No, it's just a picture. We can share the template.
Oh.
Everybody will get this slideshow. It's posted, it will be posted on the Reed University Google site at the end of the evening. And I guess Maya, maybe you want to put it in the, not everybody's in the Reed University course. So maybe you want to put the link to the slideshow in the chat so that people can get it before they leave the session.
Okay.
And they'll have pictures. And
stopping the share now. I will share if somebody wants specifically that layout for the template, just send me a private message and I'll send it to you. I'm sharing the breakout room. The planning page is also in your shared breakout room
slideshow.
Is it Canva made, Maya?
Sorry?
Is it Canva made?
No, it's old. It's Google Slides. I just reshared the breakout room slideshow so you can take and grab it from here. And the last slide in the show is are those ideas for how to develop a tutoring plan if you want to go into more details in the future on your own.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Should we grab the whole slideshow or just the ones that we worked on?
Well, I thought it was amazing to see the different ideas from all the rooms. So I think it's an excellent idea to have a look at what others wrote.
I think she wants the actual presentation from tonight.
And what's valuable about looking at everybody's ideas is that while it's true that Maya and Galit are speaking about their school, which is a very large school with a lot of resources, and so some of us from tiny schools may feel like, oh, that doesn't apply to us. But I think that you can take ideas from what Maya and Galit said, and also take ideas from other people who wrote in the slideshow. And it's really a very valuable resource to look into see other people's solutions. You know, if you're in a small school and you don't have any extra teachers and you're short on teachers, how do other people utilize their Partani, you know, manage to make as much as they can, as much lemonade as they can.
And now I'm sharing the exit card with some questions.
Okay, so now there is so please remember to pick up that exit card and fill it out. Please don't write to me all night long saying, oh, I didn't get it. Right now is your opportunity to copy it, paste it, and open it in your browser and fill it out. We'll leave the Zoom open for a few more minutes to make sure that everybody got it, and then moving forward with filling it out. And so you're done, Maya and Galit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
So
are very
This
much
is the
so.
presentation.
do you want to
want-
share your whole slideshow as well, Maya?
No, the exit ticket is the presentation, what Maya just posted. It's not
Ah.
the exit ticket.
Oh, it says view for.
No, it's an exit ticket.
It is.
It's an exit ticket. It is. It's a
There are
Google-
two of them, Wendy. The top one is the presentation.
I
and where
got
says
it. I got it. Thank you.
Exit
Sorry.
card is where the exit card is. Maya and Galit, amazing. And I want to thank you very, very much for sharing. I think that it gave a lot of us a lot of ideas. And I think that the only thing that I want to add is that is it next week? The next one is Haley doing restart. Is that the next one?
Yeah.
No, isn't it
Debbie.
AI? Hold on.
No, I'm not. Oh, I'm not. It's not
In
next
2
week.
weeks' time.
Debbie doing AI.
In 2
and then
weeks'
Haley
time,
doing restart.
one of the things I just want to say is one of the really good programs that we have for using Partani lessons is Restart, and it's gotten bigger and better. And Haley's going to show it in 2 weeks' time. So if you're looking for things to do with your students where your students are weak, then definitely choose that session to come to. The Restart one, the program for the students who really need a boost up in confidence and vocabulary and everything. And that's going to be, I think, in 2 weeks' time or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
in 2 weeks' time.
December
It's in 2 weeks'
15th.
time.
How many weeks, Haley?
December 15th. The 15th is in
The
2 weeks' time.
15th. So that's a good lesson to come to. Next week is going to be AI. I'm reminding you that February is AI month in your schools, and they're going to be asking you what you need to do. And so Debbie's going to give a good presentation about things that you can do and things that you can do with your kids in class. That'll be next week. So the next two ones are really important, and I hope that you all come. Those of you who are here as not participants and those of you who are, we love having all of you. Thank you, Maya and Galit. You rock, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing. It
Thank you
was
so much for being here.
eye-opening.
Melissa, can you stop recording, please?